Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich here with your outlook for February 19th, 2016 for your Friday. We're going to have a partly sunny skies to start the day here, but we're going to have increasing clouds here in the afternoon, and we're going to have this system here moving off to our north here. It's going to bring a warm front with it, and because the antecedent air mass is going to be a little bit colder, we're not going to get very warm today. Because it's coming in colder, any precipitation moving into the area we think will give us an opportunity for a light wintry mix across our far northern and central areas here. I don't think it gets down to southeast PA, South Jersey, and Delaware here. We're just talking about these areas across northeastern PA over to about maybe the Lehigh Valley and northwestern New Jersey. These areas right here are the ones we're looking at for a quick, brief snow or sleet shower. Okay, that's going to be generally during the evening hours here, so after 6 and before midnight we're talking about for this brief, isolated sleet or snow shower. So that's going to be in and out, no big deal. This moves forward. As we move forward here, we actually have a warm-up coming in here now here on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, but very warm. So we're going to talk about temperatures here in the mid-50s in our central areas here. So lower 50s up north, upper 50s down south here. So it's going to be a very warm Saturday. If the ground wasn't so cold, I'd say schedule a tea time, because it'd be a great day to golf if it wasn't for the wet surfaces. You probably hit the ball in the fairway and you'd lose it because it would just sink right into the ground how wet it is. But not a bad day overall as far as temperature is concerned. So if you want to make plans outdoors, Saturday is probably the better of the 2 days. We do have an increase in clouds here on Sunday ahead of our next system. Now this is interesting because the GFS is showing this being further south here. Now this is for Sunday night. This is late. This is probably evening and overnight here. Chance for a few showers here. Okay, not showing much here in the GFS. I'm just going to kind of freeze frame this here a little bit, because the European model and the Canadian model are taking this kind of like right across here like this. All right, has a little bit more juice to work with than what's shown here instead of being down here. So if the low pressure is tracking up in this way, we would have to worry about our far northern counties here. This would be the northern parts of northeastern PA, north central PA, for an opportunity for a coating to 1 inch, maybe 2 inches of snow. Okay, so I'll have to keep an eye on this just in case. I don't think you're warm. You're probably too warm area in our central and southern areas here, and across New Jersey and of course Delaware. Probably too warm here. We're talking about temperatures here on Sunday, not quite as warm as Saturday, but they're going to be a little bit pretty close. They're going to be sort of mid 50s. Maybe you're talking about lower 50s. Okay, so it's not going to temperatures aren't going to drop that quickly. And the areas far north might drop quickly enough so that by the time this comes in here, it'll be below freezing and allow it to accumulate, especially in the higher elevations here of northern portions of northeastern Pennsylvania. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right now, not a big deal either way, but this GFS has this further south. And as we go a little bit forward here in time, I'm going to use it. We're using the 12Z GFS here to show here from this. This is actually from during the day on Thursday. Just because the models have a very difficult time picking up on what's going to happen with this. We do think there's going to be a coastal storm. GFS has this opportunity for snow coming in here. A very strung out low here. The European model looks like it's much more consolidated along the coastline here. I do think it's going to be a coastal event. So you got a storm somewhere here out here in this vicinity. If it did cut into the west here, you would have a rain, or at least maybe starting as snow going over to rain, kind of like what we had just Monday and Tuesday. Okay, but the trends have been to have the polar vortex, which is responsible for the cold, a little bit further south. Okay, and if that's the case, since that the upper air patterns have been suggesting the polar vortex a little bit further south, which will give you the cold air source. Now it's just a question of how strong does this low get offshore. All right, if it becomes just weak and elongated, you're not really going to have enough amplification out here needed to really draw in this cold air. So if it stays weak like the GFS is showing here, you're either further out, you're either out to sea altogether and a miss, or very weak along the coast, which is not going to allow too much cold air aside from our far interior areas. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. If it is an amped up system, meaning it's a very strong system instead of just weak off the coast. And it comes up here, and you've got a system here instead of 1,004. You're talking about a system that's about 992 or 988 sitting here near the benchmark. You're going to have one heck of a snowstorm back in here. And the areas I circled, you notice I didn't circle southeast of I-95. We talked about this many times in the Weather Weeklies videos that I do every Sunday. Not saying your season's over here in South Jersey and Delaware, but you really need a lot of things to come together in order to get a significant snowfall down in these areas here. This is the longer you go into the season. It's now February 19th. The longer the way you go into the season, the better chance north and west of I-95, and much lesser chances southeast of I-95 for any significant snow events. So, not saying you can't get snow. You certainly can. But your odds favor the interior versus anything southeast of I-95. So we're going to follow this in the next couple of days. A long way from a solution here. We wouldn't be issuing a first call until at least Sunday. So just follow through with this this weekend. We'll have another weekend forecast video due out Saturday morning. Maybe I'll give another update publicly before we do issue any call maps. But in the meantime, just know that there's a storm coming. We just don't know exactly where the track's going to be, how cold it's going to be, how strong it's going to be. And we're still trying to narrow that down over the next couple of days. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for February 19th, 2016. Have a great Friday.